Hello everyone, this is Anime Heaven X23, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about, as you can see, it's going to be Switch related. I saw the news, it was on that Nintendo updated themselves on their site, and there's been a leak of some areas of what they're going to be. Like, for instance, the original Switch is getting price updated. From what I saw, the Switch Lite is going to go from $199 to was it $219? I believe it is. The regular Switch is going from $299 to I think it's $329 in that area. The Switch OLED is going from $349 to $399. This Switch Pro controller is going to $79.99. Some other small things are going to go up in price as well. They announced that the Switch to joycons apparently are going to go up $5 more, so they're going to be $100. The alarm mode is going up $10 to $110. And so if anybody wants to get a Switch, a regular Switch, and get it now while you can, I was thinking about getting a backup Switch, but it's not worth it. And I actually was going to have a Switch too, but that I had one and I chose not to go through with it and decided to go with a retro handheld, which I will show you guys. I believe I should get it like next week, so I'll show you that, and if it works the way it should, then I'll go with that. Now that one I would be collecting physical. It's just I'm getting more of an interest with with my Steam Deck, and if this handheld works, I'll work on collecting games from there when I can. And then I'll also work on collecting. I would like to collect for the Nintendo 3DS, but trying to find a good system at a reasonable price is going to be tough. So it's my goal there eventually, is to collect more for handhelds. But anyways, I just think Nintendo is not smart here. I understand. I mean, the Switch 1, you're not going to sell many more units, and you're basically like 6.5 million units away from tying the PS2. You're like a million away, less than a million away from passing the Nintendo DS to be the second biggest selling platform of all time. And I think Nintendo is making a huge mistake. What they should do on the Switch 1 is they should just, like, whatever units they have of Switch 1 still in stock. Basically, what I would do if I was them, I would produce as many Switches as they could. Say, produce another, say, 9 million. If whatever you have to get 162 million to be the all-time leader. And then drop the Switch Lite, should have gone from $199 to $129. The regular Switch should go from $299 to $199, and the OLED should go from $349 to $249. If you did that, with this upcoming holiday and everything for people that can get a Switch 2, you'd be in a gold mine. I think for sure by summer next year, the Switch would be the all-time selling system at probably 162 million. I really believe that at that price cut, I think they could get another 9 million more people to buy the system, give or take. Maybe enough to pass, or say 9 million, enough to pass or 7 million, 8 million, enough to pass the PS2. I think it could do it. at those price points. But with going up $30, $50 and stuff, it's just, for the 3 models, it's just not good business. And I know what to produce a Switch 1 right now, they're definitely making money on each system. And I think they're making enough money to justify this. Basically, they could even say, drop the Switch Lite, like I said, from $199.29 to $129, and end production on the Switch Lite. Just don't make any more Switch Lites. Whatever the prices, whatever many of stock inventory you have, just drop it. Once the amount at $129 sell out, just don't make any more. And then you just have your 2 Switch models. You got the regular Switch, if they would have went to $199, and then the OLED would have went to $249. That way, there's a big enough price gap between the two. People would be like, "Oh, okay." I really think that would have worked for them. But the fact that they went the other way, and if you look at the tariffs, which people are going to blame it on the market conditions, the tariffs aren't that bad. I think it's 20% for Japan, which isn't that bad. I think originally it was like 10% for Japan. So I don't buy the excuse. And then I know Vietnam, I think they worked out a deal with Vietnam with the U.S. government. So as far as I know, that one shouldn't be a big deal. And I know China, they're working on getting that better. So there's really as far as I'm concerned, there's no excuse for them to raise the price on all 3 models of the Switch 1. Zero reason. In fact, they should be lowering it, like I said. If they couldn't go to $129 for the Switch Lite, then do $149. And then the Switch 1, this regular Switch from $299 to go to $249. The OLED go to $299. Each one should be $50 cheaper than what it is now, not going the other direction. That's a huge L for them. So that's my opinion on this Switch 1 price increases, which like I said, I just think is stupid. They should lower them, because if you lower them, especially with what I know they're making, I'd say, enough money on the Switch 1 right now to cover the supposed tariff increase, and I would say even a price cut. $30 to $50, I think they could cover all that for sure. But them not willing to, you're not going to get much more life out of the Switch 1 anyway. So if they would have ate the so-called market condition and then dropped it, they could get the Switch 1 to within a lot closer striking distance to the PS2, and you'd put in more of a price disparity between the first Switch and the Switch 2, which would get the people to see the value more in the Switch 2, because the Switch 2 is value price. When you look at all the prices of these PC handhelds, which a lot of people comparing it to the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally and so on. So I think it's priced well, and I think as long as Nintendo doesn't raise the price of the Switch 2, they do that, they're really gonna... You can't keep raising the prices in this console market. The Xbox is all but dead. It's basically dead. The PS5, while it's still doing good, it's definitely slowing down. And because you'll be starting its 6th year here shortly, and it's on the winding years of it. They need, and Sony, after so long, is going to have to raise their prices. And if Sony raises their prices, you're better off to just go like PS3, 360, Xbox One, PS4, PS2, PS Vita, PSP. You're better to go to the older, just called retro, and collect that way. because what's out there is what's out there. And then you'd be saved off money compared depending on which system you'd be collecting for. Also the GameCube. So I just think it's not a smart decision. Yeah, sorry for this little ranting and going all over the place and with systems and stuff. But in closing, Nintendo raising the prices on the Switch Lite, the base model, and the OLED. And then they're raising the price of the Alarmo and the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. And basically a lot of Switch 1 stuff I think is not smart. It's going to hurt them. Even though I don't think they care, because they got to keep their profit what they're making on the Switch 1. Yeah, I think that's a big L. So please let me know what you guys think about it. I think most people will agree that it's not a smart move. And a price cut would have been a better move to create a price disparity between the two, Switch 1, Switch 2, and show the more value that there is in the Switch 2. And also in closing, I'd like to say Nintendo's gotta create 8, 16, and 32 gig game cards for the Switch 2. They have to do that, because that is what made me rethink about a Switch 2. And I'm going to wait until see what happens for the rest of the year and into next year with the game key cards. Because if Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, if that's on a game key card and not on the card, I think what's going to happen is you're going to see the companies that do release their games fully on the cart, they're going to sell, like Cyberpunk, and ones that are not going to sell as well. So I think that could be a tipping point as well. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And also please like, share, subscribe. Take care, everyone. Goodbye, and thank you.